Okay, this is the second game we are going to show you guys. It's a game more about dexterity and building a structure and trying to balance how that structure is built and doing it cooperatively as a team without it falling down. So there's a number of variations to this, and there's a number of ways you could go about playing this game to make it more difficult or less difficult. But essentially, the components you have a starting square. You have a number of colored columns. The red, green, and blue doesn't have to stay that way. We're thinking maybe it would be good to either have 2 different colors or 3 different colors. So for the prototype, we just made 3 different colors to show you guys. You have a die. The sides right now are evenly distributed. You can tell this is the dice from the Mice Adventure game that we just showed you, but it matches these colors. So you've got a red that matches the red column. You've got a green side that matches the green column, and then the black matches the blue column. And then you have a number of weights. These are actually dice, but without sides, but they're heavy dice, so these are our weights. And then you have a number of floors that have either a blue circle, a green circle, or a red circle, and some square floors as well. Now during the game, each player takes an action. You can do one of 3 things. You can either place 2 columns, you can place a weight. So here's placing 2 columns. You can place a weight, or you can place a floor. So here the first player will go ahead and place 2 columns. They can choose any colors they want. They place the 2 columns down. Now it's the next player's turn. It wouldn't be smart to do anything else besides place another 2 columns. So they take 2 columns. And I'll show you why it matters, what the thought process goes into placing blues versus reds versus greens in just a second. So now we have 4 columns there. Now it's the next player's turn, and they now need to place a floor. So the floor tile that you have to place is either one of the squares. You can place at any time. You've got 3 squares here. Or you can place the next rectangular tile. You can't place any of these yet. Here's your stack of tiles. So you know what's coming next. This one's going to come next. And this is the tile you have to place. Now, as we place this tile, there's one major consideration. The next tile that's placed either has to be a blank square, which can be placed anywhere, or it has to match the color of the tile below it. So we can see here that this red doesn't match either of those 2 colors. So this green is the one that is going to need to be matched above this other green when that second tile is stacked. So Shelly will go ahead and place that whichever way she wants. Because the green is going to be stacked next, she probably wants to place the green on top of those, just like that. Now, again, the next player will take their turn, and it's likely they'll place 2 columns, so they'll place 2. Oh, and the one thing I forgot to say so far, once you place a floor, you're going to roll this dice right here. We roll the dice. Now, whatever color it lands on, you must remove one of those colored columns. So it looks like we have 2 green columns in there. So Shelly will have to remove one of those. It looks like that one's attached, so she doesn't want to remove that one. So she'll try and remove the other one. Okay, so that one is now gone. Now, and these are all prototypes, so all this stuff is not really balanced well with the prototype, but you get it. So the next player is going to place 2 columns. And then the next player is also going to probably place 2 columns. Or if they wanted to at this point to offset that column that's not there, they could place a weight. But we're going to wait. We're going to save those. So we'll place 2 more columns. Oh, all green. Now that's kind of a safe move, because if you roll this dice, only 2 sides are green. So you have a 66% chance to not roll a green, and we could have done the same thing on the base floor, but we didn't. Okay, now the next option is to either, oh, and we should have moved that over, place this tile or one of the squares, or to place a weight. We'll go ahead and just place this tile and see what happens. So Shelly's going to place that tile. All right, she places it on there like that. Now it's the next player's turn, and they can either, again, we'll move this over, they can either place a column, place a weight, or place a floor, but you can't place a floor on no columns, so we'll have to, yeah, Shelly wants to place a weight, so she's going to place the weight right there to help hopefully balance that thing back out a little bit. Okay, next player goes. They're probably going to place 2 2 columns, and then the next player goes, and they are, oh, but you place 2 columns on the green, and the next one, it looks like must be, we must play this over the blue, so we don't want to place the 2 columns there. We'll place them in the middle, and the next player will need to either pick up a weight and place that, or, there we go. Now the next player will either place a weight or columns. Let's see, where does she place them? She places them there. Now you can already notice that it's a little bit off balance. What we probably should have done when we placed that second floor is we should have placed that second floor pointed off to the back side, just like that. I'm going to move those weights real quick. Should have placed it off the back side to compensate for this missing column right here. So in the game, you sort of learn, the kids are going to be learning about balance and how things are going to want to be balanced out so the structure doesn't fall. But now that we place this second column, or when we place that second floor, what we should have done is rolled these dice, and it looks like we only have, oh, we do have a blue down there at the bottom, so one of those blues would have had to have gone, and it would have been that blue right there, and it's tough to get under there, but oh, and the structure falls. So right now we only made it 2 floors. It's actually sort of a tough game, and it might be a little bit too tough for 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and under. 7 and 8, I think they can do it. Part of what we were thinking about doing, though, was making all of these structures bigger. So these are bigger balsa wood blocks, and you can kind of see the size comparison here. And they're lighter as well, and these cardboard pieces would be thicker cardboard like this. So you can see the difference in the thickness there. And if we were to do that, I think the structure would be a little bit more stable. It'd also be bigger. So these, if you were to place this and you had a young little wiggly hand and you laid it down, the structure would be a little bit more stable. But yeah, again, it's a really fun game where you're trying to work cooperatively to build up this structure. The other thing you can do, put in place, are add different character cards. So let's say that each character has a certain thing they can or can't do. So let's say that one player, you'll randomly deal out these cards, and one of the cards will say you can't talk. So this player can't talk to anyone during the game. Another player can't place weights, so when it's their turn, they're not allowed to place weights. Another player can't place columns, and another player can't place floors. So as they're working throughout the game, they have to work with the disadvantages of all the other players to play the game. So that is the dexterity game. I might try and film another one where we're both trying to balance it, but it would be tough to balance this structure and hold the video camera. So thank you.